right, and here's a video review of kind of a surprise toy that came out of nowhere, although it is based on the Siege Megatron mold. But this is the Combat Megatron. It is based off of a G2 deco of a Combat Hero Megatron toy that never got released. Now, I actually do have a friend who has one of the actual unreleased copies of the G2 Hero Megatron, but I do not have that. So the only thing I have really to compare it with is the little Pretender Megatron that came from the club in the Pretender shell. Was based on that same Combat Hero deco. And honestly, I think I prefer it on this smaller guy a little bit. Like, I would have liked it with some of this white to be more of the gray to match the tank versus the fists. So much of it being white here, but yeah, it's based off this. It was the Combat Hero, the little foam dart launching tank Megatron from G2 that was going to be released and then got canceled. And also here he is with, as a comparison, here he is with the standard Siege Megatron, who has more of a Megatron color scheme. It's ridiculous, but it's Generation 2, so it kind of has to be. It also has this. Whoop, I'll pick him up in a minute. You see the MGTN 95, Megatron 95. That was on the original deco. He even has it here, as well as a G2 Decepticon symbol here on what becomes his shoulder. We'll show that off when we get to robot mode. Now, before we go on to the transformation, which again is exactly the same as the previous Siege Megatron, I want to go over a little bit. The packaging is a little neat. One, it's from Hasbro Pulse, which is their new kind of fan site. It comes with it came in this kind of brown box with the War for Cybertron, the spray paint, and the little Total Request Live logo. But yeah, a little Hasbro box, and then inside he comes in a plastic tray with some neat kind of tech detailing printed inside the box, but just the standard plastic tray for a Voyager. But so it's a little different, but this came in a separate shipping box. They could have, when they were showing this box, I thought they were just gonna slap a label on the back of it and just mail it in this box. But it did come in a separate shipping box, so the inner box showed up okay. And inside you get the instructions, which are the same as the Siege Megatron, except it does say Combat Megatron on the title. But also in the box was this little, what I thought was just a little postcard ad. And when you flip it over, it's actually a really nice letter from John Warden about the what exactly this is. And I'm just going to put it right here, and then if you want to freeze frame it and read it, you can. But it's a nice little letter talking about what they're trying to do with Hasbro Pulse and how they're happy you're excited about the figure. Because that's what was cool about this. Pulse just kind of launched itself last week, just before Toy Fair, with some pre-orders and some cool stuff. I think the first thing that went up on it, that I remember going up on it, was the Ecto 1 Transformer, which I've pre-ordered. Believe me, I'm getting it. Then on Saturday, they showed this off, and kind of like they've done with past exclusives, like I think Grotesque was that one of them? One of the Monster Bots and like RC, I think. Where they basically showed up to Toy Fair or Comic-Con and said, oh, here's one of our new figures. Oh, by the way, you can buy it right now on Amazon, and sent the link. Now they have it, like Hasbro Toy Shop has given way to this Hasbro Pulse, which, they showed off a whole bunch of cool toys at Toy Fair, and then immediately had them up for pre-order on Hasbro Pulse, or in some cases, you could buy them right now. Like this guy. This guy showed up Saturday with a little sign that said, see it now, buy it now. And it went up on Saturday. Wasn't a pre-order. He ordered it on Saturday. Mine showed up today. So super fast shipping. They got them out, and that was really cool of them. So, but there's a nice little letter talking about that. And it's basically like, this would have been a BotCon toy at some point, I'm sure, or something like this. And but it was the same price as the regular figure. It was $30. Same as a Voyager if you went to buy a Megatron in the store, which is nice. So no markup, direct to fans. If you bought something starting last week through this Friday, the 23rd, you're automatically enrolled in the Hasbro Pulse Premium, which gets you like free shipping on anything you order for the rest of the year. It says something about exclusive access to things. So like there may be some convention exclusives that if you're part of the Pulse Premium, which will cost $50 a year if you don't buy anything before Friday. But But we'll give you access. So we're thinking it may be early access to some convention exclusives, or at least the ability to buy some convention exclusives, but we'll see how that turns out. But it's a neat thing. This was one of the first exclusive items they had on offer to buy now and get it right away. But they had stuff for like Power Rangers and Star Wars all up on the site almost as soon as they showed up at Toy Fair, which is really cool. So, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of this deco. It's a little weird, but it was unique enough that I'm like, sure, I'll go ahead and pick that up, just as something new, because I do like this Megatron mold. And there's some good and some bad on this particular deco. So to transform him, we'll go ahead and we'll start with the feet. Pop them up, flip them out. And then the legs. And this is where my first problem comes in, because this crotch piece, I'm pretty sure, is painted, which means the tabs that go on to here, if you transform it enough, you may eventually get some paint rub here. And I can't, because this is white plastic, but this is clearly, it's slightly off-white. It's clearly painted plastic, which means, and if it's just white plastic under there that's painted, that's one thing. But you may start getting some paint rub here on these tabs if you transform it a lot over the years. The other minor drawback, which may or may not happen, like it's 50-50. It's happened to me a couple of times while transforming it on my own. So now that I'm doing the review and talking about it, the fact that I've mentioned it makes it less likely to happen. But if it does, sometimes when rotating this leg, this likes to slide off the mushroom peg, and I don't know if it's just this leg or what, but swinging that around, hey, it actually looks like it, again, because I mentioned, hey, this might be an issue, it didn't do it this time, although I was a little bit more careful, but it has popped off this mushroom peg during that transformation step whenever you swivel it around, so be aware of that. I'll go ahead and take the sword out, rotate his legs around. Let's bring this up a little bit and make sure we fit it all in the frame here. So yeah, still got that little hidey face in there. You can see his Megatron with lightning bolts on him. So very G2-esque in its patterns. Fold this around, fold his arms in. So yeah, the paint rub is an issue. The leg worked that time, so maybe it's not a constant issue. One of the things that's nice is, I don't know if it's just my copy. It could, because it's something that could very well vary on some original figures. But like this plate with the head is much stiffer and tighter. Like it still doesn't lock into place here in the chest, but it doesn't sink nearly as easily. It takes some actual pressure than it does on my original Megatron. So hope if that's something they tweaked, great, because that was one of my few complaints. So he's got this kind of black fusion cannon with some green fade on it, and it's the same with the sword. There's some green down here, and it kind of doesn't fade as gradually as the cannon does, but there is like a fade into the black. It's not just a solid line. Black blades and the little red detail inside the tip of the cannon. But yeah, you see the Megatron 95 G2 Decepticon logo up here on the shoulder. His name and lightning bolts across his chest, which again is a very G2 element. The plastic, the gray plastic here is actually, I don't know how well it's showing off, but it actually has some sparkles in it, which is nice. Like I said, before I saw the pictures, I just saw G2 Combat Hero Megatron announced on Hasbro Pulse. I was hoping it was going to be this Megatron in the green and purple deco, like the standard G2 deco, and it was this unreleased one. So that's okay, not the end of the world. And the thing is, like, it is a very interesting deco. Like, if you look at this and are just like, I don't care for that, like, I get it. Like, because it is G2 to the max. Like, the only thing it's missing from G2 stylistically is it doesn't have a lot of bright neon colors on it. But yeah, again, here he is with the Club Pretender version in the similar deco. You can see he's got the little lightning bolts here on either side of the G2 Decepticon logo and the MGTN 95 on both of his legs. But just to give you an idea of what it looked like. I don't know what I'm saying now. There he is with the standard Megatron. And one of the other things you'll notice, this is a different head sculpt. This is a very Megatron Origins minor Megatron helmet sculpt. It's got you may not, actually, because of the light, you may not be able to see it. Let me zoom in up here and see if we can't show off some of his detail. Yeah, so look at that. He's got a black face with red eyes, so some of his facial detailing is not showing up. But if you look at the shape of the helmet, he's got like some lines across the top of it there that is not on this. He's got the little triangle angle detail up here, a couple of rivets off to the side, like the detail around the edges. It's a very different helmet than the standard Megatron. So not only is it a unique repaint of the mold, who knows? Like maybe we'll see another redeco of this. Like I would love it if we actually got if maybe this head sculpt was planned to do the actual purple and green G2 Megatron, because I think it would work well with that. But we may be seeing a different, either a different version of this Megatron at some point later on in retail. Maybe they did it just for this. That would be interesting. Or maybe we'll see, maybe that head's going to go on an entirely different body. Who knows? So we'll see how it turns out. But a very unique figure, kind of a piece of history because it's based on that unreleased deco from Generation 2. So and again, I understand if it doesn't appeal to everybody. It's not the most amazing, like, wow, that is the coolest deco ever. But it's neat, it's funny, and it's kind of cool that they had something like that ready to go for Pulse. Like, as much as I enjoy this as an offering, I'm really excited about what Hasbro Pulse is going to do going forward and what they're going to have to offer. Because if it's stuff like this, like it looks like we may be getting, because the letter I showed off mentions like this is the first of our Generation Selects, and we know that there's that Ricochet and Red Swoop that are also, I think, considered Generation Select toys. But who knows what, I mean, like we could be getting what are essentially going to be kind of like BotCon figures, but at retail price on the website where everybody has access to them, and that would be really, really cool. Because like I said, this is essentially a BotCon toy at retail price, straight from Hasbro. You've got a new head sculpt, a deco that normally you wouldn't see at retail, homaging something from Transformers Past or something neat. So if that's what they're planning on doing, like I am all on board. So as a harbinger of what could be coming, this is a neat little piece. But there he is, G2 Combat Megatron from Hasbro Pulse, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they give us later.